Brett?
Huh?
What are you doing?
I'm getting ready for the intro.
Brett. Wait, hey, buddy.
Huh?
Come here.
What?
I don't... Like,
What?
Buddy, you
Yeah.
can't be Spider-Man this time.
Are you serious? Why not?
Well, like, okay, you remember the whole Black Panther situation, right? Like, you can be Spider-Man sometimes, but this Spider-Man, the lead in this movie...
There are other Spider-Men!
Well, you said you wanted to be Miles, and I just don't think
Yeah?
that's...
not the right Spider-Man anyway.
I think you're Black Paint! That's what he did in the movie!
Hey, have you seen the Coco review comments? We're not doing this again.
You know what? F*** you guys!
Wait, oh god, wait, not again. Oh gosh, wait. Brett. Brett. Hey.
What?
Brett.
What?
Listen.
What?
We know you want to be Spider-Man.
Hey.
Yeah, I
like,
do!
Hey, you want to be John Mulaney's Spider-Man?
I want to be any Spider-Man! And I want to be Miles too! Miles Morales!
I mean...
Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and you know that! You know that! And it's not fair that you're taking it away from me! What am I supposed to do?
We're not trying to take it away from
I'm not talking to you!
not to do
I'm
it.
talking to him! Josh, let me be Miles.
Well, I mean, they say anyone can wear the suit, right?
It's the mask, Josh. Wrong line. I'm out of here, guys. I'm not even in this review.
Can you stop filming me?
Okay, Brett. I'll just give you a minute, okay?
Anyone can wear the mask. Hey.
I'm Josh.
I'm Bret,
I'm Liberty.
and today we are reviewing Spider-Man Into the
Spiderverse.
I think this might be my favorite Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. Let's dive right into this. We are given a new Spider-Man who not many people know. His name is Miles Morales, and he's half African-American, half Hispanic. He lives in a world where there's already a Spider-Man. He gets bit by a spider, and he goes through all these things, and then he finds out later in the movie that there are other Spider-Men and women who are from different realities.
What struck me about this movie is the design for it. I've never read comic books, so I don't have that nostalgia factor, so I can't imagine how amazing it is when you have the nostalgia factor. The visuals look like a comic book, and even if you're like me and you don't have that nostalgia factor, it's still so impressive, the detail they put into it.
I loved the character design and the animation. The mix of CG and traditional animation really helped push that comic book look. Rather than going for the idealistic facial structure for every single character, they did have little bits that were different, and I liked that a lot.
Just because the animation is good doesn't mean that the story isn't good either. The story is actually very well thought out. They got the same writers from the Lego movie, so there's a lot of funny nods to previous Spider-Man lore and stuff like that. They got a really good voice cast, like Nicolas Cage as Noir. John Mulaney killed it as Spider-Ham.
He had like less than 10 lines in the whole movie. Also, Lily Tomlin as Aunt May.
She was great.
And of course, Haley Steinfeld voices Spider-Gwen. She did a really good job. I really liked seeing Miles finally being done on the big screen because he wasn't a well-known character until now. The people involved, the director, the writers, the actors, you can tell that everyone in this movie cared about what they were doing, and it really shows.
I did like the use of halftones overall. That looked really nice and pushed the comic book look. I'm gonna say push the comic book look a lot, I guess.
We're going to spoilers. Go to the time code if you want to avoid spoilers.
When I saw the trailers for this movie, I thought there was only one Peter Parker. At the beginning of the movie, Spider-Man Peter is trying to stop Kingpin from using the Collider, and he is killed. It was actually pretty effective, and Stan Lee's cameo brought me to tears. It was almost as if the writers knew that he was passing away because what he said was just so meaningful. The message of this movie is my favorite part, and the message is that anyone can wear the mask and anyone can be Spider-Man in their own way, because Spider-Man is a character that always has his problems and his struggles throughout his life, while life may be good as Spider-Man, you have all these crazy powers and you can do almost anything you want. There will always be consequences. There will always be someone you can't save, which is just the reality of that job. My favorite part is when he first gets his costume, his signature costume, and he's swinging around the city for the first time, because it's what you've been waiting for.
Yeah, he's finally let loose and come to terms that he doesn't have to be like the other Spider-Men.
One of the villains of this movie, the Prowler, turns out to be Miles' uncle. It's kind of obvious.
Yeah, I saw it coming. Just because his uncle clearly didn't need to be in the movie, yet he looked up to him, and so I was like,
yeah, there was
important.
a reason why he was in there, and that was for Miles to lose someone important, to realize that you can't always save everyone.
I don't know if that message fully comes across, because he loses his uncle, but his uncle was also trying to kill him.
They gender bended Dr. Octopus. I
thought she was pretty cute.
She was cool. I liked her.
I liked how her arm tentacles were animated.
Yeah,
just the way they moved,
cool.
I liked that a lot.
Yeah, and then you had Green Goblin, and then
he was pretty buff.
Scorpion.
He's a big boy.
I really appreciated them doing a different version of Peter Parker. I think Jake Johnson did a really, really good job as Peter Parker, because it just sucks to see the OG Spider-Man so washed up. He basically gave up on being Spider-Man, and it's really sad to see that. You see throughout the movie that when he's teaching Miles the stuff that he knows, he starts to cope with himself, and he starts to realize what it's like to be Spider-Man again. And I thought he did a really good job.
With the sheer amount of characters, some characters didn't get as much development as they could have gotten, hence with the Aaron thing. And just the characters that didn't have too many lines and stuff, no real looking into them. A lot of the development that did happen was good, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
It was a good introduction overall for a lot of these different universes that people don't really know. And it's nice to see that Marvel's really saying hello to their thousands of universes that exist.
I kind of wanted Spider-Man to stay with Marvel Studios, but after seeing what they did with this movie, I just want to see more of this, because this was a completely unique animation style. It was great seeing Miles on screen for the first time. I just want to see more of Miles in a story and more of the characters from alternate realities, because it's a great idea.
Should we go to final verdicts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, I think this is such a solid, well put together movie that the creators definitely very much cared about. Like I said, I don't have that nostalgia factor of reading comic books or knowing who most of these characters are. So from an outside perspective of someone who doesn't know much of that, it's still a really solid movie, full of enjoyment, and one of this year's best superhero movies. So I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I didn't expect to like it more than Infinity War, but I did, shockingly. I think I said everything I needed to say. Like, this movie perfectly grasps the idea of what Spider-Man is as a character and what he stands for. That anyone can be Spider-Man in their own way, and anybody can face their demons and basically become a hero. I just really appreciated the work and passion that went into this movie, because it really, really shows. So I'm very happy with this movie, and I'll give it a 9.
See, this is why I like going last. Most of the things I would have said are already said, so I don't have to say them. I loved the artistic direction. I loved the characters in the story, and while there were issues in it, it was still pretty solid overall. I'm gonna give it a 9 as well.
So the final verdict is an 8.66666666. Well, 8.7.
That's too many sixes.
Awesome.
What did you think of it, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment, let us know.
Yeah, subscribe to the Film Nerds. Hit that bell. Follow us on Instagram. Follow my letterboxd.
Stanley, rest in peace.
Oh,
You will be missed.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.